Close enough?
6:59. Not close enough.
Welcome to the October 11th Planning Board meeting. Should be relatively quick this evening. As always, the first thing on our agenda is to review last month's minutes. We still were doing a lot with the White subdivision at the time, so correspondence was a lot addressing that, the new wetlands and special permit applications. We paid 2 bills, and we reviewed 2 wetlands applications, the Cummings-Venby and the Church wetlands. This all looks in order to me. I make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from September 13th.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. We have 1 bill tonight from the Rayner Group for work done in August, mostly pertain to the White subdivision. 4 hours, $640 seems reasonable to me. So I make a motion to accept the Rayner Group invoice for $640.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So that ends our business meeting.
Okay.
I traded an email with Barbara Bloom. She asked about some information. Hemmer is, her surveyor Hemmer is starting to update the final plat for her submission. And it sounds like they're making progress. For Kasich, we're waiting on the final plat filing. There's some other deeds and other work that needs to be done beforehand, I believe, and they have till January 10th. The Rovera subdivision, we're just waiting for proof of the right-of-way, and as I mentioned before, Matt Sherman is using this lull to get through the health department for its various requirements. SH29 West Neck LLC, lot line adjustment, we're waiting for the deeds and hence then the final plat, and they have until February 9th. I reached out to Joe and Beth, and neither one had received anything from Kasich or SH29 West Neck LLC, but they both have some time. There is one other application that may come back, and that has to deal with Needham property on Cartwright. Basically, Matt Sherman's been engaged now to take him through the health department, so we may see that return. It's a 2-lot minor subdivision that has been on and off in front of us for numerous times, at least 10 years. Picked it up, dropped it, they picked it up again, and we dropped it again about a year ago, and so it might be returning. And the only thing I have last on this list left is the Carlito, or Crescent Beach LLC. Owner's name is Carlito, and the address is 11 Serpentine Drive. We have a wetlands application and a special permit application. The wetlands application deals really only with the driveway, and it has to deal with a freshwater pond that exists across Shore Road. Not a tidal wetlands as we typically deal with. The applicant has submitted a SWIP. The freshwater wetlands is only in regards to the driveway. As I mentioned, the vegetative buffer intrusion would be some 84 square feet. It's about, I think it starts about 64 feet from the wetlands. And the adjacent regulated area they quoted as 300 square feet of driveway and 225 square feet of pavers for a parking area. So 525 square feet. But thinking about it again today, I came up with that they didn't add the additional areas that they're stripping and regrading on either side to put in the slope and the retaining walls. And so maybe we should ask them for that calculation because it still remains quite a small project in regards to wetlands, but I think it's worth asking that.
Making sure it's accurate, so.
Yeah, making sure it's accurate. Julia and I did put a preliminary report together. I don't know if you guys read through it. I think the one biggest concern was because they're not required to have a wetlands review of the title portion, there's a really nice area with a regulated area, there's a lot of nice planting material in there native, and we'd hate to see it all scraped out. And so that's why that's made a comment in there in this report. Anything you guys came up with that you'd like to add to that, or?
No, I mean, it seemed relatively straightforward. It's been a while since I've read it like that. You guys did the draft a little bit
It's
ago.
a while,
Yeah.
several weeks, right?
Yeah, but I didn't see anything based on what I could see.
It is an asphalt driveway. The code says no driveways permitted within the vegetative buffer, but it makes the most sense to come down this way. Asphalt driveways are permitted in the regulated near shore peninsula overlay if there's water collection. So, and I think the driveway location makes sense. They did propose a staging and parking area. I don't know how anyone would ever use it. It's an extremely tight, steep slope.
Yeah.
They're showing a gravel drive off Shore Road, up the hill. I don't know how a vehicle would turn and stay behind the silt fencing without rolling over or dropping materials. So I think would ask the town board to ask them for clarification on how it's going to be used. There's also some nice old growth trees there that you don't necessarily want to take out. So I think that really needs to be addressed. And that was approved as part of their SWIP, so whoever's reviewing the SWIP, I don't know how they would really use it. As far as the trees go, it's the main road to all our hotels that people take, and I'd like to see those trees remain, and the drive along Shore Road be wooded or not cleared, and also if they use the parking area, the staging areas they propose, I could see all this erosion and mud and all this stuff sliding down Shore Road and then into the bays at the bottom. So that one thing has to be addressed. In regards to the special permit application, the applicant had submitted a plan that shows that the lot can currently be subdivided into 4 lots. The planning board hasn't done an absolute review of that. We don't know if they're including the vegetative area that they're not supposed to, but it seems like there is a possibility they could be doing this, which would mean 4 lots at 6,000, 24,000 square foot house. They're asking for 12. I think the ZBA has already looked at this in regards to a height variance, and their comments were, as we put in the report, item 10 on their resolution was shall be no further expansion of the square foot of living area, structures, walks, patios, and no further footprint coverage expansion shall be allowed. And item 11, the future subdivision shall be restricted to 2 additional lots with a total construction of no more than 6,000 square feet of living area each. Applicant must file a covenant with the county clerk for this. So they want the house, they want this 12,000 square foot house, and then they still wanted to be able to subdivide into 2 additional lots, which seems, I guess it's feasible. It's up to you guys, but maybe there's a way of restricting it even more, saying they can only spin off 1 lot. They say they give building and site coverage percentages of building coverage of 2.33% as opposed to 25%, which is permitted of the overall
Whole thing, yeah.
pre-subdivided lot.
Pre-subdivided.
But if they go subdivide, especially if they're gonna pull out 2 more lots, that number goes way up.
Yeah.
Their total lot coverage was 4.91%, where 40% is permitted, so again, that comes into the place. So maybe say, we'll give you this, but, because
No further subdivision.
or just one more lot that only can be 2 acres or 3 acres or something, not another 5-acre subdivision, which will really kick these numbers.
It also wasn't clear about the driveway and the walls either, whether that was included in it, right? I just remember something.
Oh, yeah, so in the total lot coverage, we weren't sure if that included the driveway because it's asphalt, the retaining walls. Sometimes those are included or not. These are gonna be basically faced concrete, I believe. They're not dry stack stone. So, there was one strange item on, going back to the wetlands, where they have a retaining wall they're putting in for construction. And they're using plastic sheet like you do for a bulkhead, you know, those corrugated sheets. And they're creating a large retaining wall across the whole property. And it's not clear whether they're gonna yank that out afterwards, which could really disrupt the ground even more. And I don't fully understand the reasoning for it. Let's see. Would it help me to show you guys on the site plan what it is? Pull down on these.
Yeah.
Wall pilings, here it's called wall pilings, and we plan to go.
Catches that, but.
I think this plan might show even more detail. These vignettes show wall pilings. It came up, there was an image of it, but again, here, proposed sheet pile retaining wall installed for slope stability.
Is that it?
All the way over here. There's a construction staging area, and look how steep it is. And they have a gravel strip, and they're gonna put silt fencing here, but no one's ever gonna be able to drive in and drive horizontal to that steep slope. They're really gonna want to do this if they're gonna use it at all. And you can't use it that way. So, yeah, I don't really understand what that item is.
It doesn't sound temporary based on what it says on the plans, at least.
Well, and if
Sounds-
this is the limit of clearing, so if this here is the limit of clearing, so it's just an arrow, then why are we all the way back here?
Proposed limit of disturbance during construction. So I don't get that.
Yeah, we have to expand that one.
And then they have a limit of clearing here, but we don't know, what are they gonna plant this area? This is that low area that's really nice. What are they gonna cut out of there?
This is also kind of weird because Serpentine's here and Shore is here.
Well, this is on
This-
water.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
This
this
is
is
the
like
top
going
deck.
down the hill.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what are they trying to prevent from coming down the hill? Water when it rains?
Maybe that's it. It's
I
just a
would- I
water
would think
barrier.
It's a water barrier to keep it from washing out, which means that it's just gonna run down.
Right, yeah.
Or
Well, I think that's their property anyway,
they own this.
Okay.
So here it just goes
but it's gonna go down to the road.
So here it goes to here, and it goes always,
It's gonna go this way.
And it's gonna
get caught
pool
here.
in
You're gonna get a
here.
nice big back.
Right.
and then it's gonna funnel out here and then
And then
dump
out
to
to
Shore
Shore
Road and
Road, yeah.
down the road.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Road is short, it can be called Shore River instead of Shore Road.
Stream.
It's short.
But there is a detail of it in the, what is now that's posted hopefully on the town website. Which was the original package they sent us.
Okay.
It seems like a much more in-depth
What's this thing?
meeting
Oh,
requirement.
no, that's the watch out for concrete.
And
That's
this
the
is fiber
silt
drop.
fencing. They had it,
Construction.
they did have it somewhere. But I was surprised, I've never seen that before, where,
Yeah.
and is it 3 feet high above the ground? I don't, it's like, so that's definitely something that needs.
Right, well, okay.
So that's one issue, that's the other issue.
Clarification would be good.
Interesting that they need a wetlands because of the pond,
But not because of all that.
but the runoff that comes off the sunny side or comes off of the driveway would go right into the bay. That's what it does, it's just a river over there. And
When it rains.
So I think, I personally would approve this. We've approved other large houses, especially on supersized lots.
Yeah.
I just think the staging area needs to be addressed, that wall and the subdivision.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, they're using
Keeping the trees in.
creative math.
That's a material staging area.
As you come down.
It's kind of interesting, because you can actually go down there and figure out where the driveway is coming, and Julie and I did that. Over to this time.
Well, we should probably come up there just because camera is on, so.
Oh,
The cameras, yeah.
Hi, Pam.
I think it was good that we actually stood there because you could really feel the steepness of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't really realize when
Yeah.
you're looking at the map.
That's the thing.
So,
On site.
here's the bay.
Mhm.
Here's the pond. And these are sets of telephone poles,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
okay? This is the 15-mile-per-hour sign is right here. So when you go down the hill,
Oh.
there's a set of poles there, so you can orient yourself and where this is going in. And there's another set of poles. So there's a lot of telephone poles, but that will give you some idea as to if you drive by and understand that it's really, the 15-mile-per-hour sign's right in the middle of that proposed area, and there's no way you can. Well, you could, just, it'd make a mess.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Did anyone else have any comments on that? Typo?
You get all the major points.
Yeah.
We wanted.
There's nothing more to say. All right, well, that's it. So we'll update these and the date and send them to you guys, and ready to go. That's all I had for this evening. Do you guys have anything that you'd like to talk about, bring up? Or?
Oh, Amber, while you're here, remember that bill we got from Essex? That was like all whites. Last.
The one we didn't approve.
We got two. One was regarding whites, and the other was for some other project that you
Right.
caught. That obviously Joe from Nora was involved with, and the bill should have gone to him.
Oh, the invoice?
Yeah,
But I was wondering if some of the 2% money could be used for some of those bills. Instead of coming out of the taxpayers' money, just something.
Yes.
well, the applicant did submit fees. They whined about them, it was quite high. But in the past, we've taken it out of that because our fees are not really supposed to cover
Right.
the entire amount. This is a certain amount of public good we do. So the fees we pay are partly for the benefit of the town. But the applicant does pay for a part, so that's the thought. And I know how sensitive people are about taking more money out of the 2%.
You are allowed to use up to 10%.
But you're allowed to for maintenance and stuff like that, just a thought.
Who's got those bills?
But the town's already paid them,
Oh, okay.
right? So, Pam,
Sorry. Let's see.
Shelby might be a good view of rundown, but you want the ones that are specifically dealing with white.
That's Christine. Christine. Right, confirmed.
Do you want the ones that deal with white? Now, I could try to go back and find all the ones for the last 2 years.
Shelby.
Shelby can do it easier.
Yeah.
That's it.
No new applications on right now?
Nothing, wetlands required, that's what David was commenting on. I think I did make a comment before you showed up that we're probably gonna have to, I haven't seen any activity on, Benantic, so we might have to deal with the bond. When the time comes. And I'm sure that would become an issue because certainly not gonna want us to do the work, he's gonna want to do it himself.
Yes.
So, cool. Anything else fun for us?
Take the.
I know.
Yeah.
Spicy.
I was watching it.
Resolution 2. Okay. Yes. The 5th board member next Tuesday.
Oh, really?
Oh, you fixed something out?
Yeah, we interviewed 2 candidates.
Okay, cool. I had somebody who was potentially put in their candidacy, but it sounds like missed the window.
Yeah, we kind of, after the interviews, Ian followed up on the one question that we had, and so I came back positively. We'll proceed.
I would let the person know to chill out until the next thing.
Well, I thought I'd make it official, let you guys make the decision and notify people, or if you want me to, I can do it earlier, but I think I probably
And
do better.
Judy generally.
However you want me to handle it.
Generally handles the letters, so I'm sending those out.
Yeah.
I'll double check with her tomorrow. I'll get the resolution over.
It's good. Could be having another person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
You're gonna do a motion? You're gonna,
Make a motion to
There's one
dismiss.
attendee, if you want to ask, usually you ask.
What's that?
There's one attendee, if you want to ask.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Pam.
Hey, Pam, do you have anything for the planning board?
I know, thank you. I'll just look for the updates on some of those documents. Thanks. Have a great night.
Sure, you too. Bye-bye. Thank you, Coco.
motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn. I never do that, but yeah, I should, I guess.
Yeah. Let's do.
Yeah.